What's up, guys? It's Mirembe here from Peace and the Promise, and I just want to welcome you to our Light It Up sessions. These are monthly words that God gives me to be able to encourage you and myself for the month ahead. I really believe that this word is going to be timely, it's going to be encouraging, it's going to be prophetic, and it's going to speak directly to your situation. So sit back, enjoy, and be encouraged. Peace. What's up, guys? Mirembe here from Peace and the Promise, and I'm so excited to come on here and share our May lighted up word. I'm so pumped, guys. God has really been taking me through a process and developing this word in me that I may be able to come up in here and present this word to you as an encouragement for this month. So today we are going to be reading from Matthew chapter 7 verse 13 and 14, and it says, "Enter through the narrow gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leads to destruction, and many enter through it. But small is the gate and narrow the way that leads to life, and only a few find it." Now I want to ask you a question. Have you ever felt like you are walking on a tightrope in this Christian walk? I'm talking, you feel like if you make a step wrong, you are going to fall straight to your death, straight to your destruction. You make one mistake here and God is going to say, you know what, that's it, I've had enough of this one. She's never going to be my child again. I'm never going to accept her. I'm just sweeping her out of this whole mission for her life, and I'm going to give her call to somebody else because she's not faithful and she's not the one for the job, right? And have you ever also been on the other extreme in which you felt like, you know what, like grace is great, grace is amazing, like let me live my best life, do whatever I want to do, and maybe you're being called out on it and you're like, but I don't understand, I thought this was a graced walk, right? I just want to come here to encourage you that God sees, and I really believe that he's sending me as a messenger to bring this message of liberation, to be able to help the overachievers to just take a deep breath in and out, and to help the complacent and maybe those that are struggling to understand the concept of grace and what it's for, to come up and out and be able to really shine in the true liberty and the true purpose of the freedom that Christ won and possessed for us, right? I want to encourage you that this faith walk may seem like you're walking on a tightrope. You may feel like you are there wobbling and shaking. If you've ever seen a tightrope walker, then you know that they are up, they are elevated like so many meters, I don't know if it's hundreds of meters up in the air. And they are there walking on this teeny tiny rope, one foot in front of the other, with a crazy balance. This takes skill, this takes precision, this takes, being very aware of your surroundings. It takes a process. They didn't get there overnight. They trained and they practiced. They didn't start, walking a tightrope 100 meters up in the air. They started maybe 10 meters. They started with a trampoline underneath them, right? So I want to encourage you in this walk. It might feel like you're walking on a tightrope. It might feel a bit like some days you've got it. Some days your balance is great. Some days you're falling off to one side, trying to earn your salvation, trying to get good grades almost in this Christian walk. And other days you're on the other side where you're like, you know what? It's too hard. I'm just going to kind of live my best life and do whatever I want to do. But I want to encourage you that in this faith walk, though it may feel like you're walking on a tightrope, understand that heaven is your harness. Understand that God's grace is your harness. Understand that God has not just thrown you out here in the wind to leave you by yourself, to make you, try and figure out how to walk across this harness by yourself, but he's really here. And through and by belief in Jesus Christ and in his indwelling of his spirit in you, he is the one that empowers you to be able to walk this thing out faithfully. He doesn't say, hey, look, narrow is the road and narrow is the gate, you figure it out by yourself. But he says, no, if you simply yield, if you simply surrender, let me do the rest. The word says, so I say, walk by the Spirit and you will not gratify the desires of your flesh. It doesn't say strive in the Spirit. Try your best to walk in the Spirit. Try your best and your best to do all the good things to appease the Spirit. It just says walk by the Spirit. What does that mean? It means yield. It means surrender. And the Spirit of God will instruct you as to what you should do and what you should not do. This walk is not about guessing games. It is about yielding and responding to the voice of heaven, responding to the voice of God, responding to his instruction and his conviction that we may ultimately remain on the narrow path. It is not intimidating when we recognize that God is omniscient. He is all-knowing. He recognizes where the pitfalls will be. He recognizes when we're going to be tested. He recognizes what our weaknesses are. He's not surprised by the things that frustrate us, right? So when we recognize that God knows all things, therefore his divine instruction and counsel and conviction is for our good and ultimately his purpose to keep us on that right path, it helps us to lean into him even more and trust him all the more. We recognize that he's not a punitive God that's just out there trying to punish us and find any reason to condemn us, but he's actually desiring for us to yield to him, that he may take full governance and full leadership and full control of this vessel to help us to ultimately walk that full life that Christ died for us to have out for his glory, to ultimately impact the nations for his glory, that we may all be welcomed home to him at the end of the day. So I'm so excited to start this new series, guys, because now I'm getting tongue-tied. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to start this new series, these Bible studies that I'm going to be hosting on Thursdays. The first one will be today when I release this video. And next week and the week after that, we're going to have 3 specific Bible studies targeting the 3 different kinds of people, 2 different kinds of people, and the last one is going to target how we can be encouraged in this process. So next week, I'm not going to tell you what the topic is about, and I'm going to be targeting a specific kind of person to encourage you in this tightrope walk, right? So I'm so pumped. As you can tell, I'm talking a million miles an hour because I just want to get this word out real quick, and I'm really excited for what God's going to do, guys. So make sure you join me for the weekly Bible studies at Peace in the Promise Facebook on Facebook Live at 9 p.m. on Thursdays, Australian Western Standard Time, right? So I'm very pumped, guys. So until the next video, I'll see you there. Peace.